How's everybody doing out there? This is Super Solican, and this is The Awakening. I want to go ahead and get into this message for y'all. This is a message that's for everyone, but I'm specifically talking to the sisters. This is a message that can edify the sisters because today, this is a message for the sisters because today, a lot of women, you are under a strong attack from Satan. Yes, women, you are under an attack like no other. Women, you are under attack like never before. No other time have you been under attack like this. See, in other times, the man was under the spiritual attack with you. The man's not even in this. You are under this attack yourself. And this is an attack of the spirit. You know, women are given a lot. Whom much is given. See, women now have equality. You have an equal playing field on the earth. God has given you that. You understand? God never intended for you to be a second class citizen. He only intended for you to play your role to your husband, to the man. That's it. And we all have to play our roles, and we all have roles to play, and to keep the harmony on the earth. God wants harmony on the earth. And today there is no harmony on the earth. True love is leaving the earth. And I'm going to do another video separately on that because that entails a lot. But true love is leaving the earth because people they're growing further and further away from God. They're growing further and further away from the Creator, who is the source of love. And Jesus Christ was the ultimate expression of love. And if you don't know who He is and what love truly is, then you can't even give it. Like, people today are selfish. People today are super selfish. They're selfish, they're vain. And a lot of this, women have been given a lot. They've been given equality, and you even have some women who try to abuse the things that they've been given, like how by taking good men to court, by trying to use men for money, things like that. God never intended for that. That is an abomination upon the earth. Women today are becoming lesbian. You understand? They're bisexual. Women today they fuel the LGBT community. It's not men who fuel that. It's women. Women who have, say they got homosexual friends, and they'll use those friends, those men, for validation. But then when they're tired of them, they shame them. They really don't, because women really don't respect that. They respect real men, and that's just the way that God has created them. The spirits link. When God says that the two become one flesh, the spirits link up when men and women get together. It's a magic. It's something spiritual that happens there. Now, when you get it's not the same with two women. That there's no spark there. Nothing happens. They have to use toys and all this other stuff. With two men, that's just an abomination to God. We understand that. Like, there's nothing. That's something like that have something to do with an assault. You understand? Like, so with women getting, like, doing the things, and then women want men. Yeah, that's just the case. Like, that's why they do the things that they do. But they just don't understand. That's why men are supposed to be the head and guide them. And that's why the country itself is sinister. And Satan, we know that who's behind this. They've given women this equality and I'll use air quotes because they want to give them. Women have always, they are equal, but they have a different role to play. You don't want women. That's like giving and I'm not trying to equate women to children, but just hear me out. That's like saying that we're gonna give children all equal rights. Soon when they're born at 5 years old, as soon as they can talk, they got equal rights. They can do what they want. We can't tell them nothing. Do you understand the chaos that the society would be in? I mean, sure, they're human beings. They're their own human. But we understand that they need parents and they need discipline. This isn't like in other countries where you have child kings and things like that and queens. No, because we understand in with civilized minds, we get that. And this is how God has ordained it. So women need men. And the country, like I said, Satan wants to give the government, and like I said, the country under the guise and tutelage of Satan and these big companies, they want to give women just enough rope to hang themselves and to cause chaos, because they know women will consume and consume and consume. They consume. Some women, consume without thought. They'll spend as much money as they make, and be like, that's what I'm supposed to do. They not trying to really make no power moves. And at the end of the day, women not going to make no power moves over the men in power. Those men got the game under the strong arm. Those men willing to do some stuff you can't imagine to keep that power. And that's, so I say all that to say this. Women, you should be looking for a good man. That's who you should be looking for right now. When you look, you should be looking for a man of God. That's it. And when I say good, that's what I mean. You should be looking for a man of God. If you can't find, and I'm talking about a real man of God. I'm not talking about your crooked pastor or Pastor Paul. I ain't talking about none of that. You act like you can't. You act like it's not brothers around here who fear God, who follow God, who are loyal, who are living the lifestyle, who are walking with God. And they make money, like they have their own stuff. They may not be rich, but they have their own, and you can build with them. You telling me those men aren't out there and you don't see them? Is it that you don't see those men, or is it that subconsciously you don't even want to deal with those men? Like, you don't want a good man. And a lot of women, that is the case. You're playing with God. Like, a lot of women, you're literally playing with God, and you try to toss God into your nonsense and into your mantras. Then when you, because I've seen this happen with women in the comments. Women will use God for convenience. Then when you bring up the fact that, everything that God actually says in the Bible and what he requires of women, then they get the oh, that Bible stuff, oh, you believing in that man-made stuff. Like, which one is it? You can't try to criticize God's word as being somehow non-credible or something because it was written by men, which is everything was written and create. Everything that use and enjoy was created by men. So what are we talking about here? If we want to reinvent the wheel, if everything was in fairness, for these women who try to act like they don't need men, in a perfect world, you will be able to just go off into your own piece of land, your own utopia, whatever, and leave the things that we've created here. Leave it with us, and you go create your own stuff and you go do your own thing, But in reality, men and women need each other. You understand? Men and women getting together in the right and under God, under the right context. It's like lock and key, and it's the most beautiful thing that is placed here on this earth, like love between man and woman and family. Like, that's the second thing that's the next thing to godliness under the sun. As a man being selfless for his family, like he serves the Lord, and then he the Lord guides them, and he guides his wife, and so on and so forth. That's just it. That's the beauty of life. There, a lot of people, like I said today, I don't even know what some of us today, some of the women in this society, you've totally abandoned your power and your natural use. Like, women are built with a nurturing mechanism, and if you are nurturing children, it's always easier. You need a family. Men and women are like this. Don't believe this lie This is the strong delusion that you've been put under, that you can raise children all by yourself. That you don't need the father, you don't need you just got him as a sperm donor. No, that's not how it works. Not only are you tied to this man through DNA and connection of unseen connection, you have the child with the man, and that's his kid. He needs to, the child needs their father. So you can't just this Jezebel mentality that women are having. This is a wicked mindset. They want to use me. That's why I said, son, man, you need to protect your seed as a man. You shouldn't be giving your seed to all these women. You shouldn't. Yes, as a man, you need to be chaste as well. You shouldn't be laying down with all these women and just spreading your seed. That's not what God meant when he said be fruitful and multiply. He was saying you do that. He was talking to specific people with their wives, man. And that's what you do when you with your wife under the right parameters. Y'all can have all the sex and do all the things y'all need to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because y'all bodies is for each other. But when you just out here, just out here playing the field, women will try to tell you, they'll come up with all types of things to try to justify the debauchery and things that they're in and the calamity that they're in right now. Because a lot of women are in a calamity. They don't even understand what's going on. It's under the guise of, you say you're living your best life and all this, you don't need a man, but everything you do is geared for men. Like, everything you do is geared to get attention from men. You find yourself constantly, looking for if you didn't have the men's comments, you would go crazy and you would start doing things to get their comments. But then when you get a lot of them, from thirsty males who not doing nothing but sexualizing you, you don't feel good about that. That's why God tell you don't do that. And for women who going out here just, I saw a woman try to go up into a restaurant. She walk around half naked. I saw a woman in the mall walking around half naked with her literal vagina out. Yes, women are doing that. Men, some people walking around naked. It's like, look, man, you doing something, you showing your shame, first of all. You should be ashamed, but you don't have sense enough to be. That's a mental illness, a mental and spiritual illness, and somebody need to help you. You also don't understand, like women don't understand that they don't have no sympathy for men today when they just out here sexualizing, putting sex out and then trying to act like, oh, when you can't get it, you can't touch it unless you pay me, and prostituting themselves. But basically when women go out here and put in and dressing all scantily clad everywhere, at school, at all type of functions, just everywhere, you causing men to lust. You causing other people to sin. And God looks at that just as bad as the person committing the sin. You causing them to do it. If not worse, like God may look at that worse. Because you're causing the people to do it and you will be judged. Because you are making a conscious decision to do that. You put your own clothes on, you dress yourself like, when you're looking in the mirror, if people gonna be like, man, dude, you know what you're doing. The sexual aspects you have to yourself and how that, like, that's why you wearing the low cut shirts with your cleavage out, because your breast is big. That's why you doing it. Like, come on now, you're not fooling us. God sees everything, and women, you're not fooling God. So, ladies, this isn't a pick on y'all, but I'm speaking to y'all. This is your brother talking. You understand? You are under a strong delusion, but but in these times, you also have it's like a crossroads. You can also get on the correct path, and, God will turn you up like never before. God will, bless you with all the things that you should have had. He'll bless you with a good God-fearing man. He'll do whatever he need to do for you. Now if you one of those women who looking at who's superficial and who looking at everything you see on social media and trying to keep up with the Joneses and worried about keeping up with something like and marrying some lifestyle and not getting with a person, you never gonna be happy. First of all, like me and God, you need to get with somebody who has equal yoke. If that's what you're looking for, go get you one of them big ballerific dudes. But at the end of the day, don't be surprised if you're not the only woman. That's what's gonna come with your territory. You seen any type of situations like that's how it usually works. So the dude may just put you into a situation, like I said, where you might be getting cheated on. Like, don't don't trip, because that's what you signed up for. But I'm speaking to the women who turn the crossroads and who want to follow the Lord. You'll get you a good God-fearing man, who's ambitious and who got things going. But the one thing is, you got to understand, like, you got to be bringing your 100% and he got to bring 100%. It ain't 50-50. It's 100-100. Everybody got to bring 100. Sometimes, the person could get sick or something could happen. You'll be bringing 100. Nigga go to jail. You be bringing 100. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. So that's why the parameters, when God set the parameters of marriage, is for better or worse, richer and poor, sickness and in health. Ain't no deviating from that. And if you're honest with yourself, God will reciprocate that, and you'll get that in a man, and you two will build, and he'll love you and appreciate you because you were there with him in the times building with him. He'll know that you actually love him. You'll have the type of fulfillment within your body, and you two will fulfill one another's needs. You'll be able to have a blessed relationship that no one can put asunder. Nobody can. It's not fickle. Like, that guy will give his life for you. You'll gain assets within his family. You'll not only gain the man, you'll gain a God-fearing family, a protected family, a blessed family who have things and advice they can give you. And when you need help, now you have another force that you put the two and two together. You don't think about that because you only see being deluded by the world in a short game. See, the world will tell you that just because they want women to be consumers, and they want them to continue to perpetuate LGBT and use them for an agenda, because they want to use you for your agenda, they're gonna keep you in the dark. They'll tell you you don't need a man to raise a kid. They'll feed you a bunch of lies, but don't you listen to them. Don't you do that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I don't want to make it too long. Like, it is what it is. Like, we need to wake up. Look at what happened to Jezebel in the Bible. Like, you don't want to be a woman like her. But look at women like Ruth, Mary Magdalene. Look at those women. Then look at the wicked women who was in the Bible, and you contrast them and see what type of person you want to be. With that being said, this is Super Solican, and this is The Awakening. Peace and blessings to the hearers and doers of the Lord's word. A special blessing to those who listen to this whole video to the end. With that being said, I'm gone. Bye-bye.